Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys MMS 377 of the Resistance suit REY from Star Wars The Force Awakens. As you can see by this sticker, this is a Sideshow Collectible exclusive, which means this version of REY is only available here in North America via Sideshow Collectibles. For the package, you got a fairly standard looking Star Wars box with an image of the figure right there. The back of the package features various contact information and warnings, and then when you open up the shoebox style package, the inside you have a nice insert of how REY actually appeared when she found Luke Skywalker. And then when you move that out of the way, you have an open clamshell that fully showcases the figure as well as all of her accessories. But for the packaging on her, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get her out here and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Resistance suit version of REY opened up and out of her packaging. And as always, she does come with her instructions. It is fairly simple. It just kind of shows you how to open the bag, how to put the bag around her shoulder, how she holds her gun, how to store the gun, and then what various cautionary sort of things that you should take with the figure. So fairly self-explanatory, but you always do want to go through that just to be safe. And coming down to take a look at her accessories, she really doesn't come with a ton. This particular look was only in the film for like 5 minutes. It was at the very end of the movie, but the overall package does nicely replicate how she looked. So in addition to the two relaxed hands that are currently on the figure, she also does come with a right and left fisted hand. Not much detail really in it, just kind of flesh tone, but you do have a right hand that is designed for her blaster. Then you also do get a right and left hand that kind of is like on an angle for holding things, so it works really nicely when you're wanting to have her hold the lightsaber. So you just kind of wedge that in there, and it's like she's going to be handing it off to Luke Skywalker or something like that. You do have a right and left hand for that. The fingers are a little bit pliable, so like you could see, you can sort of stretch the fingers to get her to actually grasp things. And then she also does come with a right hand that is, a left hand that is specifically designed for holding her staff here. Now, one thing that does actually kind of bother me is that she doesn't come with a right hand to hold her staff. She was always walking with the staff up the hills with her right hand. Now, I know that's going to sound like a nitpick on my part, but if you want to replicate how she was walking up, she was holding her staff in her right hand, so you really can't do that. Now, you can, with the right hand that she was handing the lightsaber to Luke Skywalker, you could have her hold that, but it's positioned differently. This is more of like an up and down kind of grasp, whereas this is more on an angle, so that does bother me. It's something that I think that they should have included. I honestly don't know how many people are going to be displaying her walking around with it. They're probably going to use this figure to display her kind of like handing the lightsaber, but I have to point it out to you. I'm a reviewer, it's my job. She also does come with her really nice staff, which does have a really nice amount of detail, good molding throughout the entire thing, some nice wear with the paint. Come down to the handle area, you can see some nice strap detail with kind of some dirt throughout there. You got the nice strap right here with the metal clasps up here, down here, and then towards the bottom as well, and then more detail coming down to the bottom. Actually fairly large. Now, believe it or not, it's actually taller than the figure is, which is really nice, so setting that there. She also does come with extra wrist pegs. They're a little bit smaller, obviously, because the body is smaller, and then a couple extra buttons. Now, the buttons go on the holster right here. You can see like a couple here in the back and some right there. I haven't noticed any problems, but it is nice that they include those just in case. Those are usually just applied by glue, and it's a very small amount, so sometimes those can actually pop off. So you do get those extra bits. You also do get her blaster that we did get with the previous version of her. Again, real nice detail throughout the entire thing. Nice silver paint. You got a nice black handle right down there. You come down to the barrel section, you can see some nice scorching detail. The front of it has this little blue paint on there. You can also store this right here on the side. You got a little holster right there, which I'll touch on here in a bit. She also does come with a shoulder sack thing. One thing that I'll say is that out of the package, it's a little bit short around her actual neck, so you do have to, or at least I had to kind of adjust this a little bit to kind of get it a little bit longer so it drapes down a little bit better. The little clasp right here isn't actually one that you plug in. You can see you got a little hole right there. And what you do is you just fit it into the back section right there. You got a little knob bit that you just bring that in,
kind of give that a little push, and that's how you lock it in. So don't go try pulling it to actually separate it. You push back, and then it kind of actually loosens from it. On the inside here, you got a little pillow, a little silky pillow kind of thing for it. And then obviously in here, you're going to want to store the lightsaber. Now, she did come with the lightsaber in the previous version. It actually had the light up section. She doesn't really need that with that, but you can just take that and tuck that in there, then close this around. And again, make sure that you clasp it properly, and you have that section right there. This is new, but the lightsaber obviously is probably a reused part. So lots of reused parts on her. The body is obviously reused as well, but that doesn't bother me really much because it's the figure from the same movie, so it's not that bad. She also does come with a display stand. You got the Resistance on there. You got Star Wars Rey. You have the adjustable cradle. The bottom section here just has warnings and things of that nature. So coming to the figure, to actually get the satchel thing on her, it's a little bit easier to take off the head. As you can see, you do have the same head sculpt that we got with the previous version, so you do have that plastic hair thing coming down the side. So my best recommendation would be grab like her nose and then the back of the hair, and then lift up just like so that you don't damage it. And then lift the arm out like so, bring this around, and then put this over just like that. It's a little bit easier than trying to fight with getting it over both arms and all that kind of stuff. And then drop the head, take the head, put that back on there, pop that onto place just like so. And now you have that kind of look where she had the satchel there, and I popped off the back section here. All right, there we go. And then obviously you can take her little walking stick, put it over her shoulder like so, get that kind of out of the way, put that over, and get that draped, kind of, let's see, fidget with that a little bit, and there you can have that. So that's kind of the look that a lot of people are probably going to go for, or having her reach out and handing the lightsaber to Luke. So it would be nice to have a hand that allows you to have her holding the walking stick. I guess you could kind of do it with this hand. It wouldn't look as good. I mean, but you can kind of do it, I suppose. But basically, figure-wise, it is the exact same in terms of the body and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, she's wearing a different outfit. Head sculpt is still the same, but is still absolutely perfect and really does look like Daisy Ridley, I think. I really do think that looks terrific and absolutely looks like her. It is, just like I said, a reused head sculpt, but it is still a very nice one. Now, you could complain that it would have been nice to get a more emotional looking facial kind of expression, kind of more like what she actually had when she met Luke Skywalker. I would agree with it, but I don't hate this sculpt. I still think it's really very nice. As you can see, you got the little plastic hair pieces right there, so you do want to be careful when you're manipulating it. You got her hair in the bun right here in the back, which looks really good. For her outfit, though, I really like the way that it turned out. It definitely has a very accurate look to it, except for some areas. One thing that I really like is that they actually put a magnet on the inside here and here, so that this outer jacket stays nice and form-fitting to her, which I think is a real cool touch. You also have that on that side as well. But really nice, very accurate. One part that I don't particularly like are these sleeves. They're very similar to the sleeves that she had in her original suit. They are different. The original one had like this ruffled effect all the way down. But in looking at the movie, it's almost like she was wearing the sleeve and then had like a glove section that came over it. They kind of replicated that with these little pads and everything, but it definitely looked like there was two pieces here. The other thing is that it's not nearly as long as it should be. The sleeves kind of came down all the way towards like her knuckles. Now you can slide this down and recreate that look a little bit more like that, because I mean that's like how far down they actually were, but that then exposes the little joint right up here and gives a lot more skin showing here in the upper part of the arm. That wasn't how it was. So in order for this to be all the way down here like it really should be, this needs to be up about that far. So it's a little bit inaccurate in terms of the sleeves, but I still think they look pretty good. They got a little tear right here, which is pretty nice. Pant wise, I think they look good. You got that nice holster. This is just made out of a kind of a pleathery sort of material. But like I said, the pants look really nice. The boots, these ones, honestly, I didn't go back and look to see if the boots are the same as the original one, but in the film, watching her kind of like walk up the stairs, the back section here here, this little piece, the like spine that goes all the way down, actually extended up a little bit more, like a little tab. This slightly does, but not as much as it should. So there's a couple inaccuracies to the overall costume, but I don't think it's bad. I still think that it looks pretty good. It definitely came out a lot better than I thought it would. And I think it, for what it needs to do, does it fairly well. For articulation, though, because it is the same body as what we got on the previous Rey, it is the exact same. So you get a bit of a ball joint here at the neck itself. It looks left and right. Again, you do want to be careful with the hair, as that's very thin and can get snagged very easily on the fabric. The neck section here, the torso is a little bit of a softer rubber, so the neck right here does actually flex down. Now, the shoulders here move in and out very nicely. They rotate all the way around. They rotate at the upper part of the bicep itself, and then she's got two joints here at the elbow. The wrists rotate. They also move forward and back very nicely. She does have an upper diaphragm bend as well as a waist rotation, but there is some restriction because of the outfit, but you can get her crunching fairly far down. The hips here move forward and back, but the pants here really do fairly restrict things, so you're only going to get about that far of a range of motion. So it's not really a ton, and then they only move in and out about that far, so it is fairly restrictive here because of how tight the pants are. She can rotate at the upper part of the thigh itself, and then she's got two joints here at the knee. As for the ankles, again, because she's wearing the same boots as she was wearing before, it is a ball joint underneath there, so it does rotate, and then you do get a very minimal amount of side-to-side motion and forward and back, just because of how much gapping is there around the cuff of her boot and the actual leg. So not a ton of ankle articulation, but in terms of posability, it is about as posable as you're really going to need this figure to be. And then as a 1/6 scale figure, as you can see, she comes in a little less than 11 inches tall. All in all, though, I'm actually really happy with how this figure turned out. Yes, there's a lot of parts that are reused, but as I said, other than her outfit, her look really didn't change throughout the film. It would have been nice to get a new portrait, but I think the one that they have on there is already pretty spot on, at least in terms of the likeness to Daisy Ridley. And it would have been nice to get, more of a emotional sort of look, but I'm fairly content. And while a lot of the accessories from the lightsaber to her staff to the hands are all also just reuses, now the outfit, while it does look really good, there are a few inconsistencies with it, specifically in the way that the little sleeves are done and then the boots themselves. And that might actually really aggravate some collectors. They buy Hot Toy figures for the accuracy, and something like that could put them off. But I still think that what we have here is really very good. And that scene at the end of the film where she was reaching out and handing the lightsaber to Luke Skywalker was a really pretty cool one. And this figure does a nice job of replicating that look. So all that being said, if this is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, it is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this as well as the rest of their Hot Toys 1/6 scale figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell on my homepage and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.